Put 'em up, put 'em up. In this corner, the gold label Batman Year 1, and in this corner, the red platinum Cowardly Lot. Put 'em up, put 'em up. Today, we're gonna see which black and gray Batman is the best bang for your buck. I'm also giving a Year 1 Batman away to one lucky subscriber. Starting with the packaging, and there's not a whole lot of difference between these two boxes. Zooming on in, and I bet you don't even know which one this is. The only real difference is that this one is a gold label, and this one is a red platinum. Call it whatever you want, but either way, it's just code for hard to get. The sides are similar as well, with one Batman from Year 1, and the other from the Cowardly Lot. For those looking for the Cowardly Lot in-store, here's that UPC, and for those looking for Year 1 in-store, here's that UPC. The backs are also fairly similar, with pictures of Batman himself, and a yellow and purple motif. And hey, looks like I'm busting out the Infinite Frontier Scarecrow. With boxes like this, there's no real comparison, so for packaging, this round is a draw. Moving on to presentation, and Year 1 is 6 7/8 inches, or 17.5 centimeters, whereas Cowardly Lot is 7.5 inches, or 19 centimeters. For the most part, Cowardly Lot is near complete reuse of Hush. In fact, the gray is pretty close to the blue version, but this one has an all-new chest, which not only includes a new head, it also has new articulation. Most of the figures made on this body have a joint at the base of the neck, but this one has finally updated that to have its joint at the base of the skull. This means that if you like the Hush body, but maybe not the head, I can finally do all the head swaps you have ever wanted to see. To be honest, that is really exciting. As for the head they gave him, it's pretty good. I usually prefer Batman to have a static expression, but gritted teeth once in a while isn't the end of the world, and it looks a lot better than some others. If I had one criticism, I wish that the cowl piece was a bit more of a point and less of a swoop, something a little bit more like Detective Comics 27. I will say I do like the more orangey belt. To me, that feels more visually consistent with figures like Three Jokers, but if I had one big complaint, it would be the hands. These are the same hands they've been using ever since Three Jokers. They have the extra ribbing in them to look more like Michael Keaton, and at this point I am just really sick of seeing them. McFarlane has managed to make non-ribbed open hands for this figure, so why we still haven't gotten a pair of fists is beyond me. As long as we're here, I might as well point out the gloves. Normally the glove line is painted a bit low and underneath the joint. This time it cuts across. It doesn't really bother me, especially given just how dark the gray is anyway. Still, worth pointing out. The bigger conversation is about Year 1. Though not a one-to-one comparison, it shares a lot of parts with Rebirth. Specifically, the arms, hands, most of the legs, and feet, complete with some nice treads underneath. The new parts being the head, gloves, and boot tops. Similar to Digital Superman, the musculature here is a lot more muted, looking more realistic. I really like this belt. Not only is it sculpted really well, but unlike Cowardly Lot, has a bit of shading in there. At first blush, I like it a lot, but the devil's in the details, and there are a few that stick out. Well, and I'm not entirely sure why the gloves and boots are just so incredibly baggy. That is, compared to a figure like Nightfall. But for the main issue I have with this figure, I have to warn you. Once I point it out, you are never going to unsee it. Why does he have such tiny arms? Even compared to Rebirth, they're a bit shorter, but just look at him shoulder to shoulder with Nightfall. Compared to that broader torso, it really stands out. I'm going to look through my collection to see if I have any alternate arms I can try out for when I do my head swap video, but for now this really does take me out of it. Lining them up, it is interesting to see the evolution of the character. Of course, you could also do it this way, which totally works, though if I'm honest, I think I would have rather they just used Nightfall again. Don't get me wrong, I like the new pieces well enough, but they've already got a Nightfall torso ready for just such an occasion. I also think it would have felt more consistent when you line them all up, but still, I do like this new body. I just wish the arms were bigger. One thing I do really like is the new head. This is just a good, basic, all-around Batman, and I am really excited for the head swap potential. On the one hand, Year 1 has more new sculpting and also better paint detail. Admittedly, I also like this head better. On the other hand, the proportions on Cowardly Lot are just way better. For presentation, this round goes to Cowardly Lot. From the top, and both figures' heads are on dumbbell joints. They can look up this high, which seems about even. Here we have looking straight, and here we have looking down. The tilts are also about even, as is their ability to spin their head around. Moving on down, and Cowardly Lot can raise his arms higher, but of course both get complete rotation at the shoulder, and have multi-directional rotator cuffs. Traveling down the arm, and both figures have bicep swivel, double jointed elbow with Year 1 having the better bend, and wrist balls that can swivel and hinge in any direction. Moving in the middle, and both figures have a diaphragm joint and a dumbbell waist. They can arch back this far, with Cowardly Lot having the deeper bend. For context, here they are standing straight, and wouldn't you know it, but it looks as though Cowardly Lot also has the deeper hunch forward. He also seems to have a slightly deeper tilt, but of course neither Batman has a problem with twist. Below the pouch belts, and both Batmen have the standard McFarlane hips. The kicks appear to be about even, and they both pretty much get a perfect split. Both Bruces have twist in the hip, and both are pretty equally good. Their double jointed knees are also pretty equivalent, and of course both have toe articulation and McFarlane ankles that can swivel, hinge, and like Batman's costume, from black and gray to blue and gray to black and gray to blue and gray to black and gray to blue and gray again, back to black and pivot! Though admittedly by a narrow margin, for Poseability, this round also goes to Cowardly Lot. Moving on to Playability, and in terms of accessories at least, this is unfortunately gonna be brief. Each Batman comes with a figure stand, but I'm not gonna tell you which one is which. They also come with trading cards. Year 1 is a short synopsis of the Year 1 comic, and Cowardly Lot is a short synopsis of that comic. This is something I've been wanting to see, and I'm glad that McFarlane is doing more of it. Beyond that, and all that Year 1 comes with is this batarang. It's also reused from Rebirth and fits in Batman's right hand like so. Some alternate hands would have been appreciated, bringing us to the Cowardly Lot. As I complained about, observed in my presentation section, these are from 3 Jokers, but he also comes with these blade holding hands. They're great for pulling pork, but with only 2 blades per hand, this is less Dark Claw and more X-23. Personally, these don't do anything for me, but the cool thing is if you like them, there are a lot of other Batman figures that you can use them on. Beyond that, the best extra feature of these figures are the wired cloth goods capes. They're the same basic style and material, and really add a lot to the display. The good news is that Playability is more than just accessories, it's also about how well your figure plays with others. Starting with Bruce's super friends, and for the other half of the world's finest, here's Superman. Action Comics 1000 here scales much better with Year 1 than Cowardly Lot, and if you have the Walmart exclusive gold label version of him, as you can see, it scales even better still. If, however, your primary Man of Tomorrow is Hush, then this is still better with Year 1. Same thing with DC Classic, but if, like me, your last son of Krypton of choice is the Silver Age version, then Cowardly Lot is your best bet. Similarly, the Collector Edition Wonder Woman is a much better fit for Cowardly Lot. Batman should be a hair taller than Barry Allen, so I think the Cowardly Lot is your best bet here as well. As for Green Lantern, and here we have Hal Jordan, along with Kyle Rayner from Grant Morrison's JLA run, and the Endless Winter John Stewart. Wrapping up the Justice League with Aquaman, and here's Endless Winter with an alternate Barry Allen head, and the hook-handed JLA version. According to the comics, Aquaman is 6'1", so Batman should be slightly taller. As long as we're talking about allies, though, we've got to shift to the Batman family, so here we have a couple of versions of Damian, and then here we have classic Dick Grayson, which admittedly does work pretty well with either. For Dick Grayson, all grown up, here's the Better Than Batman version of Nightwing, standing way too tall next to Year 1. When you consider that Dick Grayson sometimes substitutes for Batman, the Titans Wave version is a better fit. As for Red Hood, the new 52 version scales much better with Cowardly Lot. Same thing with Dawn of DC. Batgirl made Year 1 fall over in between shots, so I guess this one was designed by Bruce Timm. But for something modern, here's Art of the Crime. And speaking of crime, this brings us to the villains. My favorite Joker, of course, is Silver Age, but for those using the 3 Jokers versions, here's the Clown, and Infinite Frontier, which is current to the Cowardly Lot story. For a few other classic foes, though, and here's Penguin, which works just fine for either, along with the Platinum Edition Nightfall Catwoman. That said, for the closest thing we have to a more modern version, and here we have Arkham City. Arkham City brings us to this suited version of the Riddler, and then here's the DC Classic one, again, way too big for Year 1. Speaking of classic, and here's the Silver Age Two-Face as I impatiently await finding the Platinum version, and lastly, as the main villain of Cowardly Lot, here we have Infinite Frontier Scarecrow. Tim Drake! I can't believe I forgot Tim Drake. He's only my favorite Robin. And you know what? I even almost forgot about the Year 1 Lieutenant Gordon that goes with this Batman. Sheesh, I am not with it today. For a 7-inch scale Marvel comparison, and here's the Silver Centurion Iron Man, bringing us to our tried and true relative scale comparison with Pete the Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man. And as always, here they are with Stealth Iron Man. As much as I like Year 1, we do have to face the facts. Cowardly Lot scales better with a wider variety of figures, and its accessories accessories are more unique and compatible with a bunch of other Batman figures. For playability, this round also goes to Cowardly Lot. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. Both figures retail for $23, but they're both really hard to find. Cowardly Lot is a red platinum, meaning that while he is exclusive and hard to find, you can get him at multiple places. I for one have seen him on shelves at both GameStop and Target. Year 1 is a Walmart exclusive, which are notoriously hard to find, and the pre-order sold out before most of us even knew it went live. That's why I'm giving one away to one lucky subscriber. To enter, all you have to do is be a subscriber and comment below to tell me that you want it. Deadline to enter is Sunday, June 8th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The winner will be announced Thursday, June 12th in my Year 1 Batman head swap video. This giveaway is open to all of my subscribers worldwide and is not sponsored by McFarlane Toys, DC Comics, YouTube, or anyone else. I just want to share the Batman love. Please though, only one entry per account. Thanks to slightly better availability, for price this round goes to Cowardly Lot, who wins the battle 5-1. Agree? Disagree? Sound off in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my upcoming head swap videos. For more Batman versus, check out one of these, and until next time, play nice and have fun.